All right, so understanding your broker spread is extremely important in order for you to trade. It's not just about analyzing on trading view and then executing your trades. Even if you analyze on trading view, sometimes you notice that your trade was actually correct, but either you didn't get tapped in or you got stopped out before the move eventually went your way. And this is something that can be extremely painful, especially when it occurs time after time after time. So in order to avoid this or reduce this, you need to understand your broker's spread. You need to understand your broker's spread. That way you are able to be conscious of what it is you are doing. So enough of all the talks and all, let's get straight into it. Now we come here, this is a live account here, this is a small live account, you can see it here. Xness, this is Xness broker. It depends on whatever broker you're using, IC markets or whatever. Okay, so now using MT5 to be able to identify what your spreads look like, the first thing you want to do is you want to click here and look at the pair. So now I have two pairs here, literally Euro USD, USD JPY. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to add a couple of more pairs. So let's add XAU, which is good. XAU USD, this is it. New Zealand dollar, AUD, NZD USD, yes. Then AUD USD. I don't trade as many pairs as these, but just for the sake of this video, so we can be able to see the differences in all. USD card, USD card. Which other pair is popular? GJ, yeah, GBP USD. Oh no, we already have Euro USD. Let's use GBP JPY. Yes, GJ. I think these are enough. These are enough. So now literally we have a list of pairs here, and now we can go and check the spreads. So now we have all these pairs listed here. Now we can come, as you can see to the left hand side, this is a real account. This is Globerex, this is its Xness real. This is not some fake demo something. So we can use this to actually check the spreads. Now what you want to do is come to charts here. So when you come to charts, you will see two lines. Okay, this is the 1 hour time frame. Okay, the time frame you're also trading also matters, because I think spreads varies on time frames, kind of, in a way, especially if you're a scalper, you're trading on the 1 minute, 3 minutes time frame. You can't compare the way your spreads will be with the way of 1 hour time frame. All right, we'll get to see everything. So this is USD JPY. You can see this is two lines on the charts. We have the green line and red line. The red line is actually, so the gap between the red line and the green line is what we know as spreads. Okay, that's what we know as spreads. So which means, for example, now if you have a trade, okay, this is not trading view, I'm trying to like long press something. So let's say you have a trade that you want to buy at this bottom here, right? You want to buy at this down. Okay, this is it. The trade will literally have to, like, this red line will literally have to come down into your entry in order for you to get triggered. So the green line is what you see on trading view. This green line you are seeing is the actual price that you see on trading view. That red is the spreads. So for example, now let's say your entry was very sniper, in which this green line came and tapped your entry but didn't cross down for that red line to also tap into your entry. You wouldn't get triggered. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense, or if you understand, you can let me know in the comment section. So according to USD JPY here, we have a tight spread. This is very nice. The distance between the green line and the red line is very tiny, which means most likely you will get tapped in. Okay, so now let's come to a lower time frame like the M30. Now you see on the M30 the spreads is bigger. Look at it on the H1. On the H1 the spreads is smaller, right? Now on the M30 the spreads is bigger. So now you make your analysis on 30 minutes time frame. You make your analysis on 30 minutes time frame, and the entry is very very sniper. So if it comes and tap you, like this green line comes to your entry, that's where you see, oh, it came to my entry but my broker didn't trigger me. This is the cause. So you need to understand, you see the distance between the two, which means your green line has to enter into your entry zone. The red line also need to enter into your entry zone for you to get, tapped in. That's on longs. On shorts, if the price is going up, okay, it's going to tap you in on short. However, if this green line gets close to your SL but doesn't hit your SL, however, this red line taps your SL, your broker will stop you out. Whereas on TradingView, it looked as if you didn't get stopped out before the trade eventually went your way. Probably the trade went deep into drawdown before coming out back. So now, due to the spreads, you can see, okay, it can stop you out because the distance between the two is much. Now let's go to M15. We can see, okay, let's go to M5. Now on M5, the spread is even wider. The spread is even wider, so you can see how wide the spread is on M5. Okay, and then we come to M1. Okay, now see how wide the spread is on M1. Literally very very wide, very 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 wide. So these are things you need to put into consideration when positioning your SL and your entry. So for example, now if you want to enter and then this green line comes into your entry and then jets out, which is a very sniper entry, your broker won't tap you in because you made your analysis on a 1 minute time frame. I'm not saying you shouldn't make analysis on the lower time frame as a scalper. You just have to consider your spreads, understand the spreads you are working with your broker. Look at it so you can know how to adjust your SL and know how to adjust your TP, especially when you use limit order. If you use market order, you don't have a problem with this, but if you use limit order, so you can get tapped in, and also after getting tapped in, so you don't get stopped out before the trade eventually goes your way. So I'm going to switch now to the H1 back, and let's change pair to USD card. All right, it's loading the chart on USD card here. Let's see. So this is USD card. Okay, we can see the spreads on USD card on the 1 hour time frame, and then I don't need to explain too much now. Let's just look at them. I've explained literally almost everything. On 30 minutes time frame, we load it and we see how it is. This is the spreads on 30 minutes time frame. Come to the lower time frame, the 15 minutes. This is the spreads. On 5 minutes, this is the spread. It's getting wider. Okay, now the spread is getting wider. The lower you go into time frame, the higher your spreads goes. It's a natural thing. Some brokers are quite different. Okay, some brokers have much more tighter spreads. So you want to understand your broker spread if it will fit your way of trading. Okay, and now we have the M1. This is crazy. Okay, this is a very very wide spread on the M1. So moving on, let's look at Euro USD. Start from the 1 hour time frame. So this is Euro USD here. On Euro USD, we have a kind of tight spread. On the 1 hour time frame, it's quite fair enough. On the M30, getting wider, but still not bad, not bad. And then 15 minutes. Okay, now 5 minutes. This is where things start to become much more alarming. We have a wider spread here, and then on the M1, this is a very 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 wide spread. You can see this is how price is jumping. So we have the green line, and then which means if you automatically buy right now, it's going to buy for you at where that red line is. Even though the market is actually currently at the green line, it's going to buy at the red line. So you can see how the spread is moving. So let's look at other pairs. AUD on the higher time frame. So this is AUD, quite fair enough. Then the lower you get, okay, this is quite okay. Okay, now we're having higher spreads. M15, M5. The M5 on AUD is even as wide as Euro USD's M1, and then we have M1 here. Oof. So basically, you just want to check every single pair trade. Let's look at gold. So you understand the pairs, understand their spreads, and you can be able to adjust how you trade. So you don't get stopped out easily. You don't get, not like you won't get stopped out. You will get stopped out. Obviously, on some trades you can't win all, but however, you won't get stopped out unnecessarily because you understand the kind of spreads your broker works with. So on the 1 hour time frame on gold here, we can see that the spreads is very tight. Beautiful, very tight spreads here. On the M30, it's also tight. This is quite a very tight spread. M15 still tight. M5 fair enough for M5, and then M1 also not as much. As you can see here, if you compare the spreads on the spreads on M1 on gold, look at this. You see this, the spreads, and then let's look at something like Euro USD. You you can see the difference. The spreads is just so wide on Euro USD. So let's say you are a scalper, look at this, is what you're going to be working with. So you need to put that into consideration. Let's look at it on USD card, see how wide it is. On USD JPY, wide. Okay, AUD is wide also. But XAU is tighter. All right, so basically it's going to be favorable to scalp gold using Xness. It's going to be favorable to scalp gold because the spreads are much more better. So I hope this video was able to provide value for you, and if you got any value from this video, let me know. I'll be waiting for your comments. Let me know the feedback, and if you have any kind of videos you want me to make, video titles or video suggestions you want me to make, I'm open to listening. And like this video, subscribe if you haven't. Okay, this channel, basically I provide you with all the important things you need to become a profitable trader. We don't do the bullshit here of fake life, or the main things you need, the real things, not the flashy lifestyle, the real things you need in order for you to become profitable in the financial market. Those are the things I post. I arranged every single one of them in a playlist. Okay, so if you check my playlist, if it's Forex, you're going to see everything pertaining to Forex that I have made in forms of videos so far. If it is crypto, I have them in the playlist. If it is trading strategy, I use supply and demand, SMCs, it's there. Okay, trading psychology is there. Everything arranged in a way that you need and in a way that is going to help you become profitable. So if that's what you're in for, you really want to become profitable and not just about the fake lifestyle, smash that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.